Hello, Mzansi. Welcome to it as Hollywood Bets brings you a smoking hot edition of Game On, where this week we discuss records being set firstly in the DStv Premiership with Jerry Skosana. We'll also talk about records being set out in the Premier League in England with Shane McGregor. We continue with the theme of football royalty as in our last segment in the show, we do have, of course, SuperSport United coach Gavin Hunt talking about the season that is and soon to be was, and just life in general, returning to life back in Pretoria. So, Mzansi, as we mentioned, records being set, and let's now focus on the English Premiership, and of course, records being set there as well. To help us break down what's been, well, a great season out in England once again, and a record-setting one is Shane McGregor. Shane, great to be in your company. Let's talk about Pep Guardiola, Manchester City. Now, for those that aren't in the know, the likes of Manchester United, Arsenal, Liverpool, including Huddersfield, believe it or not, which is way back in the 20s, they've won 3 in a row. Manchester United have done it on 2 occasions. Everybody else that I've mentioned has done it once. But City have done something special this time around. They've won it 4 in a row. Pep Guardiola is, well, making hay in his time out in Manchester, is he not?
Brilliant. That's all I can say about him.
Yeah.
He's such a good manager. You know, he gets the best out of his players. He knows when to rest players. He knows when to bring players in. And what they've done, I mean, 4 in a row, unheard of. You know?
Yeah.
Even the great Sir Alex Ferguson could get it right. So it just shows you. Talking about that, there's been a lot of comparison between the two. Who's the better manager, coach? But, you know, that's a very difficult one. But, yeah, they've been outstanding. And, you know, you've got to take your hat off to Pep. He really has kept them together. He really has kept them going. And what a man. I mean, all the other managers are thinking, well, please, can he move on and give up? But it's not going to happen. He's still got another year left in his contract.
How often, now this is the big question, in recent memory, can City keep going to the last day and doing it on the last day? You remember quite famously, there was the win with Manchester United in the running for a top spot on the last day. City have done it once again in such a short span of time, different coaches between then and now, but one club keeps getting there and making history when they're being pushed right to the end with all that pressure.
But that's the way they do, you know, that's what they do. I mean, they are brilliant at doing that. When the pressure's on, they seem to actually play better than anyone else. And I'm not too sure what it is. You know, they get to that stage of the year, they get to December, and then all of a sudden they kick into a new gear. And they just seem to keep on winning, keep on winning, keep on going. And the bigger the pressure, the more games they win. Look, I couldn't get it right against Real Madrid, unfortunately, you know, but these things happen. But on the league front, it's going to take a very, very good team to break them down. Look at Arsenal. I mean, what a great year they had. They had so many points, they won so many games, and they still just couldn't get their leg over the line, you know. So that's the big thing. Man City know how to do it. Pep Guardiola knows how to manage the team, knows how to do it every year. Knowing
how to manage a team also means knowing how to manage special players. You remember when Phil Foden was a youngster, still a teenager, many of the British media were saying, why is he not starting regularly? He's now on the other side of 20. De Bruyne gets a long-term injury. Foden steps forward, and what a player he's turning out to be.
Exactly, and look how young he is and how many trophies he's won. You can't believe that, you know. That's one thing that you can't take away from him. And I can remember when he first started playing, they were saying they're looking at maybe loaning him out to get game time, match time experience. And Pep Guardiola said, no ways, guys. He's staying where he is. He's not going anywhere. He'll be a star in our side. And look what's happened. I mean, it's been proven right, you know, and what a player. But you're not just him, you know, they've got so many players. Doku's been a sensation in the last few months.
Arguably the signing of the season,
Even Grealish has been sitting out, you know. So if you just look at their whole squad, I mean, they're great. At the back, I still think that's where they could get caught out. But up front in midfield, I mean, we forget De Bruyne, we forget players like that. Haaland had a terrible season.
Top goal scorer.
Only scored 39 goals.
Yeah, only.
So, you know, bad season.
Like Ray Keane says, doesn't even deserve to be playing in the first division.
Exactly.
Yeah?
He should be a second division player. Thank goodness he's not. He scored 300 goals. But yeah, no, Pepper's brilliant. And that's it. Simple over and done with. There's no one better than him, I think.
You and I were speaking to an Arsenal fan just before we started recording today, and I said, look, for Arsenal fans, no reason to look down, no reason to even look for negatives. It's very much a positive season, this.
Well, it's been 2 very positive seasons.
Yeah.
This shows even they've grown since last year, and they've got to keep that going. They've got to bring 1 or 2 players in. He's got to reinforce the squad so that they can get over the line. But nothing wrong with it. Yeah, they didn't win a trophy, but that doesn't matter. They're showing positive signs. They're showing the game the right way. It's just a matter of time before they win the league.
I have to ask you about Chelsea and Pochettino.
Yeah.
It seems there was advancement and forward movement there, but they part ways with him. Your thoughts on their season and the decision at the end of it all?
Well, I'm dumbfounded with that decision, I must be honest, because in the beginning of the year, look, they brought in a lot of youngsters. Yeah, they spent a lot of money, but it was all on youngsters. So they had to have time to develop. They've, over the last few weeks of the season, been outstanding. They've been one of the surprise teams over the last few months.
Sure.
I can't believe now he's turned the corner and then all of a sudden they agree that it's time to move on. You're going to have to start all over again with a new manager. So I just don't understand that. I don't understand the logic behind it. I don't understand why it's going happening. There might probably, we'll find out sooner or later that there are things behind the scenes, like he wants to bring in new players. I'm not too sure, get rid of players. I'm not too sure what it is, but it's, I'm dumbfounded. I really am about why they got rid of it.
Quickly, lastly, Aston Villa finished 4th, United 8th. Your thoughts on both those teams and maybe swapping positions with United, of course, having the finish they had last season?
Well, Villa were outstanding in the ship because of the manager, so brilliant. And obviously, Man United have been disappointing.
Wow.
Look, they got a cup final on the weekend, but they've been more than disappointing. I just feel it's the players. I don't think it's the manager. I think he's a good manager, but if he's going to have enough time, I'm not too sure. They need to have a re-look at that squad, get rid of players. They're getting rid of some now, but they need to bring in a lot of players.
Well, there you go. What a season out in England. And we have to take our hats off and, of course, salute Manchester City, Pep Guardiola and all his stars for what they've done in entertaining us this season. Not forgetting, of course, the likes of Arsenal for pushing them all the way, Liverpool as well, with the announcement of the new coach. We wish them luck in the future and in the next season. That's it with us and Shane. And break down what has been a memorable and historic season in the way of English football. We'll be back with Shane next week. On the other side of this is Jerry Skosana as we talk about history being made in the local game and the battle for second place and also the battle for those looking to avoid the playoff or the relegation promotion playoffs at the end of the campaign.
Game on.
Check these guys. Let's show them how it's done. I see it. Let's have a
your feet like this.
Let's see how you play.
Your feet like this.
Welcome back, and let's get into the local game where Sundowns continues to set records here, joined by Jerry Skosana. Jerana, so good to be in your company. Maskuman Sundowns, and the way Bavala League are corner. Still, everybody's trying to beat them. Tough game against Stellenbosch by a winner. Tough game against TS Galaxy. Yes, they draw late in the game, where you could argue they're outplayed, but what is different about Sundowns in the way they're trying to finish the season unbeaten?
Yes, I think what I can give credit to Sundowns, it's all about their seriousness of the league. I mean, they've wrapped up the league, and if you look at the game that they played against Stellis, the celebration that they had is if maybe they were gunning to win the league. Already they've wrapped up the league, so it's a good thing. Now we were watching them play TS Galaxy. TS Galaxy, what a marvelous team on the day. I don't know, because of the rivalry between the two teams, coaching staff, players, you know what happened a lot in those games. But look, when Sundowns got the goal, the equalizer, the celebration, was there a need for that?
It was almost like they won the World Cup.
I mean, I've wrapped up everything. Somebody comes and disturb me, I'll just have a laugh at that person. But Sundowns are not doing that. They want to show their mettle in the league. They want to show the seriousness. And we're looking at the game that they will be playing this afternoon. You know, they will be also gunning because, remember, they will be playing the whole season. 2023-2024 season without a loss. That would be a record on its own. So you can tell the Sundowns succeed team if you win a trophy.
Yeah.
They want to be remembered in what they are doing. And I'm happy Roland is doing a lot because I'm a player manning, our introducer. So it's a good sign for Sundowns.
Now, the other big news, of course, from the weekend, Itumeleng Nkune, honored by Kaizer Chiefs FNB Stadium for 25 years, Gule Club. But Abanye, they're not so happy with the whole event in itself. And one could say Chiefs put out the statement, they're going to be honoring Nkune, so it wasn't news. They'll be honoring Nkune, but still the turnout was disappointing. Is it just about Nkune having bad luck at this time when he's leaving? It's at the time when the team is not doing so well as the fans would like, and the fans have lost faith and thus aren't coming to the stadium, and the moment wasn't quite as great a celebratory moment as we would have liked for Nkune.
Yo, Upshong, on my side, to give respect, because if you are a player, this is what you want to see happening to you. And for Nkune, remember, he's the last star player in South African football. He's somebody who's done good Chiefs, man. Usipe everything. Nkune anayo. And the Nkune is well known. And what happened there for him to be honored and the stadium being empty, knowing Gucci Chiefs, it's a big club that can fill the stadium. And it's something which he expected. But I don't think wherever Nkune is happy about it, because people that made him to be Itu Nkune are the people that were not there to celebrate with him. That's where it hurts in me as a player, to say everything that he has given, he was trying to be himself, but there was no support that was there to say, we made you to be who you are, and you are there.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your services. Nobody was there. And now I can take it back to the Chiefs supporters. Chiefs supporters didn't do good. Even though the team is not good, doing fine, they're not getting results. Supporters believe like they want to stay home. But that Nkune moment, I expected the stadium to be full, because that was a great honor that you're going to give to a big player. I respect Nkune. I played before him, but what he has done in South African football, it's just so immense.
25 years is a long time for a true star of South African football. Now, let's look at the last round of fixtures that are happening today. And there's some big games to look forward to. For one, Stellenbosch playing against Richards Bay. We now know Richards Bay is trying to avoid the playoffs. Stellenbosch is trying to finish second ahead of Pirates, who play SuperSport United. These are some interesting games to look forward to.
Mina ngibona njenge cup game.
Yeah, both ways.
Stellenbosch, Richards Bay. Remember, Stellenbosch want to keep that second position on the log. Of course. Pirates coming. When they lost, Pirates lost. They lost the second time, Pirates lost the second time.
Sure.
So now I think they want to keep that. But still, Richards Bay, they know they might leapfrog a Royal AM. So for me, this game, yes, I think it's the most important game in this league like today. So the result that will come in that game will determine where is Stellenbosch sitting and how safe is Richards Bay. So it's going to be a good game for me. A draw, I can give it a draw.
Okay. SuperSport Pirates. SuperSport come up with that impressive 2-0 win over the weekend. An impressive win because they've struggled this year in 2024. But other than the Pirates, we know how important it is for Pirates, who themselves now, hey, I'm a portals lately.
Hey, man, I get worried. I get worried because if you look at Pirates, the players that they have, I mean, you'd expect them to be like a walk in the park. But you look at the past two games where they lost to Richards Bay and then they lost to TS Galaxy, and they're going to play again now, a team that is not problematic in them. But now you look at the Nedbank Cup where Sundowns is coming. This is the game where they need to show themselves that we are ready for the Nedbank Cup that is coming on the 1st. So I think in this game, Pirates are going to up the game. They're not going to go 3 games consecutive in terms of the loss, but also SuperSport United. I mean, their last game to win was a good motivation to them because they were also struggling. It was the opposite of what Pirates were going through and then SuperSport. But this game, I think Pirates are going to come out blazing. I can give it to Pirates.
Swallows really.
Another one. Even though Swallows are safe, even though they lost in their last game 2-0, but they are safe from in the Motsepe Foundation playoffs. So for them to play a team that is also trying to run away from Richards Bay, because if they lose to Swallows, they will find themselves there if anything happens where Richards Bay beat Stellenbosch. So it's gonna also be a good game to watch. But I say Swallows won't just leave everything because they are safe, but Real AM are worried. And if you are wounded, you know, a wounded tiger.
Yeah.
A wounded tiger is always dangerous. So in Richards Bay, they will want to make sure what they just get a draw or beat Swallows, but the most important thing is to beat Swallows.
It ends today. Later on this
Sometime.
evening, we'll know who goes to the promotional relegation playoffs. We'll know who finishes second and third in what has been an entertaining race for those positions in this, record-setting DStv Premiership season. So thank you very much to Jerry Skosana. On the other side of this, we have that special chat we promised you at the start of the show. Welcome back now. As we promised you, well, football royalty is the way we go forward on this Saturday afternoon, and joined by a man whom I think it's safe to say is very much a part of South African football royalty. That, of course, is SuperSport United coach Gavin Hunt. Gav, thank you so much for your time. And firstly, I think it's safe to say for the entire footballing fraternity, our thoughts and prayers very much with your family during what has been a difficult time.
Yeah, thanks for having me, and thanks for those kind words. Yeah, it's difficult times. But it comes to us all, you know, sometime. But it's been a tough couple of weeks. But hey, we get through it day by day, you know.
Yes, we do. We certainly do. Now, let's just talk football for the time being, and the season that has been. And there still is one more game to go, but with the one game to go and still your ambitions for the season, how would you sum it up to this point?
Well, I mean, from a personal point of view, obviously I'm never happy finishing where we're going to finish, 4th, 5th, 6th or something.
Yeah.
But, you know, if you understand and watch football and see what the team has done this year, it's been like an evolution, totally, 360 from the team that we had. And a lot of players have come in and a lot of players left us, and it's been pretty much building a team as we're going along. And for me personally, I don't think it's not a bad season, you know. We haven't won anything, we haven't been in contention. We've had some good victories along the way, and we can still finish well on Saturday. But certainly for me, you know, producing all these kids, not me producing them, but giving them a chance. We had, I mean, I'll be a liar, I think it's 12 or 13 under 20s, you know, make their debuts in the Premier League, which is a hell of a lot. And it's taken a big risk. And we've taken, you know, it's come and bite us the second round, that's for sure. But, you know, I believe in the youth, and that's our motto at the club, and that's what we do at our club.
Yeah.
You know, we got to do the financial constraints. We obviously got to try and do the best we can, and a lot of these kids will move on to bigger and better things, that's for sure.
If memory serves me right, in your first stint at SuperSport, when you came in, the likes of Mashego were leaving, Teko was leaving, and you had to build going forward. Same, this is the same now. Some big players have left coming into the season. Talk to us about the challenges.
I mean, I think the first reason why I left in the SuperSport in the first place, because the team was pretty much being gutted.
Yeah.
We were cutting, selling the players, and you're never going to achieve what we achieved. We won the league 3 times in a row. And by the 4th season, the team was really decimated, if I want to call it, and we were trying to replace them with kids and players who were sort of coming to the end of their careers. So it was very difficult for me. And obviously, you know, that was one of the reasons why we left. You know, I went to a different project, which was Bidvest Wits, which was obviously they wanted to win the league. And that's, you know, obviously suited me, you know.
Yeah.
And we won it, you know, after 3-4 years, yeah.
Now, there's always going to be the talk of the crosstown rivals. In the past, you've had some memorable encounters with your crosstown rivals, that being the current champions, Mamelodi Sundowns. How far are we from seeing the rest of the chasing pack, that's yourselves included, from catching up with Sundowns? Is there a realistic picture to maybe think next season?
No chance. I don't think in your lifetime, I don't think in my lifetime, that we can ever, I don't think Chiefs or Pirates or anybody can win the league again. Not to their power, not to their financial clout. They certainly fishing in a different market. They're buying players from Europe. They'll be buying players from the top clubs in Europe because of the financial clout that they have. So I don't think in your lifetime, my lifetime, I don't think you can challenge again. I don't think so.
I have to ask you about your ambitions going into next season. I mean, traditionally you've always been one to like playing a lot of football, one to like being involved in the CAF competitions. Is this something you still aspire towards, even with the challenges?
Yeah, look, I mean, if you look at our CAF competition this year, we couldn't do it by playing home games in Polokwane and playing CAF. And we had 3 North African teams. So we would come back from Libya on a Monday and have to go to Polokwane to play on a Wednesday. So it was crazy for us. So we had to use the squad. And believe you me, it was great opportunity for players. Players got a chance to play. A lot of them showcased themselves, to me. And then I thought, well, now we can put them in the league. So these type of things. So it was a great opportunity. I love to be in Africa. But obviously, we got to do Africa the hard way.
Yes.
Economy flights.
Yeah.
There's no charters.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll give you an example. I was at Chiefs. We played a team in Guinea. I was at Wits the year before. And we played Orua in Guinea. It took us 28 hours to get there, right? I went to Chiefs the next year. It took us 8 hours.
Yeah, big difference.
Why? We went to the charter.
Yes.
So, I mean, if you can do... So Sundowns, who have got the luxury to go charter, they'll go charter. So if you can go in Africa and in and out, it's otherwise you got to go via Dubai, and then you go in 9 hours, 4-hour stopover, 10-hour flight to Guinea, and then back all the way around again,
A new family member, your daughter's also making moves in the football spaces.
Oh, I've got twin daughters, they're both in football.
Yeah?
And they're on the CAF. The one has done the CAF. They're doing the CAF C license. They've done those already. The one was involved in the Bale that won the tournament last year. She was the set piece coach. She did all that. She's a physiotherapist by trade, but she's very involved in football UWC in Cape Town down there.
Yeah.
And then the other one's up here. She's with the BSI Academy, which is Zaka Marks. She's
Yes.
And they love football. I mean, when they talk football, they make a lot of sense. Sometimes.
Sure.
When you drive home in the car and then they talk to you about the game and you go, well, that was right. So they know football. They've been brought up with it. Obviously, their brother-in-laws and the other side of the family, and it's just been football their whole lives,
Yeah, that's nice to know and interesting to hear. Now, a lot of former players, especially these days, are looking to get in coaches. We see them in the DDC spaces and so on. Your September, whom you worked with, is doing very well down in the Eastern Cape, Chipper. Your thoughts and advice to young coaches coming into the game. It's a cruel world. It's not an easy industry to get into, but your advice to any young coaches coming in?
Well, I think in football, not everybody can be a coach. And I think that's where the problem comes. Everybody's they think because now they go do a few licenses, they can become a coach. I think, but there's enough opportunities in the game for them to be involved in the game, be it at clubs, and that's why I think clubs should be a little bit more streetwise and use people who've got a little bit of football background in managerial positions, in marketing positions, in whatever positions, because not everybody can be the coach,
Yeah. Kev, fortunately we are out of time and we'd like to thank you for your time. You've done a lot for South African football as a player, as a coach, and we're looking to many more years of Kevin Hunt doing all the right things in his contribution to South African football.
No, thanks, Sizwe. Thanks for having me here. Thanks very much.
Well, time certainly flies when you're having fun. And firstly, we salute Manchester City and congratulate them on being crowned champions of England. Also, we'd like to take the time to thank Kevin Hunt for joining us, not forgetting Shane McGregor as well as, Jerry Skosana. Thank you at home as well for taking the time to join me, Sizwe Mapena, and the rest of the team that is behind the scenes. And we sign out the only way we know how to on Game 1. Click, click, bang.